Oh, good night, Thursday. How we doing? My God, it's been a week. Let me double check that this is going okay. Yeah, this looks good. Alright, shut this shit down. And we'll... Hello? There we go.
I don't know who's more guilty for this carnage. The aliens, or the humans who agreed to the pact in the first place. I've come too far to back down now.
Yeah, I ended up being tad late. Because, of course... Hold on a second, I gotta reorient myself. I feel like... Not only... Is the window not the same size as it was? It should be the same. You know what? It's working. I probably shouldn't fuck with it, especially if we are getting close to the end. I'm just gonna deal with it as it is. Part of the reason I was late was getting this thing to to fucking run properly, because to make sure that the little in between David Duchovny dialogue briefings, like between chapters, works. And to make sure that you can use that you can jump when you need to, you have to be able to cap and uncap the frame rate at will. So jumping requires capped. Little cutscenes between requires uncapped. And what I learned last time, which was working fine before, you gotta have two different programs running. One of them is specifically for doing frame rate stuff, and the other one is just like it's just like a monitoring thing. Like it has like profiles and stuff, but I just happened to have it anyway because it was a thing that like works with my graphics card, and it like helps me monitor stuff and set up priorities, and I can make fans I can like control fans more precisely and whatever. But for some reason I have to have them both open. And of course, when I first when I first opened it a couple of minutes ago and tried to it locked on like one frame again, which happened before for like 20 minutes or something like that before I figured out the frame rate cap problem and how to get it like working properly. And so I turned it off, and I was just like, all right, I'll just shut it down, the program, the game, and I'll, boot it back up again. Maybe I got the order of operations wrong. And then I just heard the music going in my headphones, and I was like, well, shit, okay, so it didn't actually close. But then as I was looking through the system list, I couldn't find it. So it was just like in the background running somewhere, and it refused to open again because it thought it was open, but it certainly wasn't open. It was, and it wouldn't close. So I had to just restart the whole system and then boot it back up. Don't you love technology? So we were oh, we were about to go into a boss fight. Oof, jeez. I also adjusted the ducking on the mic a tad, just so that it would be a little bit more like it would go more towards making it even rather than going as low as it was before. I don't know if it was a big deal, but I figured I may as well try to make them more even rather than making one significantly lower. We'll see. It seems to, looking at the levels, it seems to be fairly even. So. Yeah, this fucking guy. I wonder what the likelihood is that should we ever encounter an alien species, oh, I need to uncap the, there we go. Or I need to cap it. There we go. Yeah, what's the likelihood that we, when we encounter an alien species, it's a mindless monster one that just wants to, that's just acting on instinct, versus a significantly, intelligent one. Sorry, took a while for my brain to catch up there. Oh wow, you got caught on something. That was weird. Oh, and I ran out of that. Oh, that's not good. I am just out of all weapon ammo. What the hell? Okay. I was 100% certain that he was gonna fuck me there. Ooh, did I get them all with that? Ooh. Ah, okay. Woo. That was close. Ooh, what are you doing? I don't like that. Do I have a thing for that? No. Oh, that was really dumb. Did I die from the little mothball things? Is that what I died from? I wasn't really paying that much attention, honestly. I kind of got caught up with the fact that I had no ammo. Guess I should use this. Or maybe I don't use this. This was like my fallback weapon. 'Cause I am... Yeah, I'm really low on everything. And there's nothing else I can open, right? Oh. Well. Yeah, no, that's just, I've already opened that. What about you? Well, I mean, I'll take some health, but that's not really, it's not really gonna help me here. Oh, there's more health over here. Who are you? Oh, I already got you. Interesting. Okay. Well, I always have the alien gun to fall back on, I suppose. It just, if I use it too much, I run out of... I have to, like, just run around and hope that I don't get got. So, you know, that's not fantastic. Can I skip past this? No, I've tried that before. Please understand, 2005. We didn't skip past things then. I wonder what the first game was that allowed you to skip the cutscenes. You know what? Whoa. Ah! Oh. Yeah, that jump move is insta-death, but only sometimes. Sometimes it requires him to be close enough. Sometimes just the splash damage does it. It's not very reliable. I must have got by the little fuzzy things. I keep giving them different names. Oop, oop, that's not good. That's interesting. So, actually, that little thing... Yeah, these guys are assholes. They really suck up a lot of health when they latch onto you. They're like gelatinous amoeba blobs. Doesn't roll off the tongue super well. Are you still in there? Oh yeah, look at that. Ooh, ooh. I feel like I got caught on something, but there was nothing behind me. Ooh, there's another one. Get out of here. You asshole. I wonder why sometimes they're getting caught in the tube and sometimes they're not. Ow, ow, ow. I really need to be paying attention to him, but I feel like, honestly, these things are the problem right now. I need to switch over to this. You done? Okay, now with him just by himself, this might not be so bad. I feel like that grenade did nothing to him. Ooh. Is that like a shield? Is that what I'm seeing? Hate that. Well, this certainly does seem to be doing something to him, so I guess I'm happy about that. Yes. Ooh, ooh, ooh. No, that's terrible. No, that sucks. Do not. No, 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 no. Ah, no. Whoa, whoa, that was close. Are you seriously not going to give me any health for this? That's so dumb. I can't believe that that's... Hold on, I'm going to pour myself some coffee. Mug didn't have it in it. Well, I guess I'm about to find out. Problem with having multiple mugs going at the same time. Ow, hot. Okay. That's really dumb. What are you even supposed to do against that? I suppose. How much do I have? I could mutate. Maybe it'll give me some sort of resistance? Or maybe I can, like, use my own, little mutator, larval things to... to combat that? That's like the only thing I could think of. Alright, so here's the thing. This keeps letting me scan it, and I don't know if I actually need to. But I don't want to lose it. I feel like it's... Normally it saves... It's even after, like, a death, but it's not letting me do that, so... Alright, we'll do this again. Okay, so when he goes into the weird mode with his bullshit, I guess I'll also mutate at that moment. And then we'll just... I'll fire off some larval stuff. I certainly don't want to get a melee range with him. Oh, he got stuck. I think I missed. And I missed. Now I'm just getting like right up in the... Don't get cocky. Wow. You know what's funny? I like the, I really like the fact that for the sniper rifle, of course, and I missed, that the crosshair is, like, really small. I'm pretty sure that's how it was in Combat Evolved, when you had a sniper. At least if I remember correctly. I should... you know what I just... hold on. I mean, I guess I have nothing better to do while I'm sitting here getting to the hard part again. I say as if I didn't die to these little fuckers. Huh. So, I heard some sad news this morning. I guess the voice actress for Kairi passed away just recently. And that really sucks. So I was actually planning to revisit Kingdom Hearts sometime, because, you know, despite what that series turned into, that's what I get for, that's what I get for dressing like that. So... just gonna throw it. I feel like these grenades aren't very useful against anything else. Get out of here, asshole. I was definitely going to be revisiting that at some point anyway, because despite what the series turned into after 2 and some of the weird things in the middle, I really, really like 1 and 2, and from what I remember, I did enjoy Dream Drop Distance, I think is what it was, but I also don't remember playing it more than once. I should probably revisit that too. But at the very least, I wanted to revisit 1 and 2 again at some point. I just wasn't really sure when, because I'm not sure what's like a... I would like to stagger out, like, because whenever I'm gonna play, certain little weirdo things aside, it's almost always gonna be some sort of narrative-driven game, because that's just, those are my interests. But I don't want to overload too many back-to-back streams with RPG-type games, just because I know they're very long, and it can be a lot, you know, to be like, it's this for the next however many weeks, you know, or months. It depends on how, you know, really how long it is. But honestly, in the wake of that news, I kind of want to... I kind of want to revisit it sooner. Maybe I make that the very next thing that I play? I don't know. I'm sort of undecided about it currently. I haven't really made up my mind yet. But don't look away from the enemy. What am I doing? That's what got me into trouble last time. The fact that I can't get any health here is really stupid. I'm going to switch over to... What are you doing? Yeah, I don't know. I might do that. Just because that's a huge bummer, you know? That was a pretty big part of my my childhood was that. How do I hold on, how do I do that again? X? We good? Oh my god, that's what I needed to do, huh? Look at that. Get fucked, buddy. Gonna take a drink. Yeah, so Kingdom Hearts I don't actually go back to as often as I do something like Half-Life, but I do, it was kind of on like a pretty solid rotation of every couple of years I would go back and play it all the way through. At least the first one, if not both 1 and 2. But... And it has been a couple of years, so it's not like it would be out of the ordinary for me to just all of a sudden start it, I guess. Eventually here, I'm just gonna have nothing but alien weapons. We good? Hold up. Gotta, let me get rid of this. Okay, there we go. Had a thing running in the corner, but every time it changed around, I kept looking at it, so. Minimize that shit. Ooh. Oh, because it's a conveyor belt of stuff, I forgot. You gonna make me go through all these guys again? Yeah. You're really not super great with the knocked him out of his invisibility. Hi. I'm just gonna beat you to death. How about that? Because I don't remember which one's on which. There we go. Yeah, because honestly, I had thought... my initial thought after this was I was going to take a quick detour towards a little less known one. I don't know, maybe it's gotten popular and stuff by now, especially because people have been talking about it, but that crab meat game, which is, it's not a very long experience. I could probably do it, depending on the day that I do it on, I could probably do it in like one stream, I think. But but it's really interesting, and it's something that I wanted to show off, even if just like once, you know? But I don't know, maybe I put that on hold, and I jump over to Kingdom Hearts, and I just do a playthrough of that, just as a little remembrance and farewell sort of thing. Here's the thing. Is there anything up here that can help me? Oh, my health is really low too. That sucks. Ooh, thank you. Ooh, hey, look at that. That's something. Alright, so I went through all that, which is, you know, that's cool and all, but what did it do for me? So do I just have to be very careful not to get got by these things? Is that the problem? I just have to really follow it closely. I think that is. Yeah, there we go. Ooh. Secrets. Meson Cannon documentation. Huh. You know what? I'll switch to the pistol for a bit. Why not? I should probably be very careful, because those things are just kill me on... This isn't going to push me out of the way, it's just going to immediately kill me. Okay. Does that mean that we're going to have more fight? Or what? Nice, okay. Getting some ammo back. Oh, that was weird. The music just like stopped. It was like a sudden stop. Alright, well. Whee.
I think and I can't believe that this is the world I now know. A world where monsters exist. This maglev once took me to the truth. And now I hope it brings me to my destiny.
The last exit. Man, so are we just like right at the end? There was like less than an hour of game left? There's no way, right? Well, that's my fault. I did kind of throw it right in my face. How about I do it not like an idiot this time? What the hell is going on? Wait a minute. Do I not have full health or something? Oh. How did that happen? I swore I had full health when I walked in here. Ooh. Secrets. No. Stolen technology. I think that's what that said. Ah. It's funny, they actually are pretty hard to see. When they're cloaked. It's not like a very, very obvious cloak. It's pretty good for, especially for like an effect for a 2005 game. That being said, these do have the high-res textures, so that might be doing some of the heavy lifting too. Ooh. No, 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 no. Good. You stay dead. No, stay dead. I didn't really want to use those grenades on that, but... you know, when needs must and whatever. Ooh, alien turret life form. Wait, these are like living things? Hi, stop it. Can I just walk past you? No, I cannot. Alright, open back up. There you go. Whoa. Wow, look at that. That was pretty slick. He came in behind him with the cloak. Basically using him as cover, which is kind of a dick move, but I almost didn't catch it. Ooh, I don't have a lot of health. Is there any health around here? Health. Hurrah. No? And this is empty. Well, that's just fantastic. Here's hoping we get some while we're on the way there. Oof. Ah. Flashback. Sorry about that. Wow, look at this fucking thing. Wow, look at you! Can I zoom in with this guy? Yeah. I don't want to zoom in that much. There we go. Hey, that's really cool. Look at that. You have like a... what is that even supposed to be? It's almost like... it's almost like you have, what, like a top and a bottom portion of some sort of energy structure going in between there? At least in this thing, they kind of just meld together. That's interesting. I think what would be really awesome to see in our lifetime, beyond some of the obvious, you know, as far as like space exploration and whatever, not you know, stuff like that, would be if we could satisfactorily create something that works sort of like a well, I mean, I guess it depends on what medium you're pulling from, but like, you know, like Star Trek has a gravity net, you know, that they have built into like the flooring of their ships, so that they're not just floating in space when they're flying through things. I think other things have like, rather than a gravity net, they have it you know, just plates, you know, something where it's like you can build it into the ship and it's not like, you know, clearly there's some that's it's like the wheel, the rotation that creates the gravity that you have, but usually you probably wouldn't have those. I feel like when I see people have those referred to in things, it's usually for like a station. I suppose you could have it for a spaceship, but it would probably fuck with the dynamics of how it flew. fly through space, how it would, you know. I don't even know. Would you call it fly through space? Would you call it sail? I don't know. But yeah, like if we could figure out that technology and actually start implementing that, especially if we're going to continue to do more trips to the moon, for whatever sort of thing they're planning to do with all the, they want us to like mine in the moon for, what was it, like hydrogen 3 or something like that. So if we start building things that are made not just to get there and go, ooh, that's cool, look at the moon, and then come back, but it's just like, okay, this is just a regular convoy of transport back and forth that we do now. And now we do it in such a way where it's like, okay, you don't even necessarily need astronauts to be on these to do them. Clearly you would want to have people who know what they're doing, who are in charge of them, but you could also have, like, people who are doing more menial stuff that still needs to be done, but, doesn't necessarily need someone who's, like, of the high caliber that a fully trained astronaut would be. Yeah, this isn't good. Okay, well, I have some over here. That would be very, very cool to see in my lifetime, if possible. Ooh. Oh, oh, oh. You know what would be kind of fun to do? Ooh, Mason ooh, hey, the BFG weapon. I'm guessing that's what that is for. Right? Yeah. I don't know why I'm so excited for it. Every time I've used it, it's been a little bit underwhelming, but it gives me another option, that's all. Yeah. The true dream, though, in my lifetime would be, we figure out how to actually send people on interstellar missions. But that's probably way too far away to hope for. Man, it'd be nice, though. I'd sign up for that in a heartbeat. Have like a good, I don't know, solid month or so, month or two with family and friends and stuff left, and then be like, all right, I'm off to parts unknown. Maybe your grandchildren's grandchildren will hear back from us, and maybe not us, obviously, but it would be, I guess it would be whatever colony settlement that we then eventually link up to be able to communicate across the stars, right? I'm just whiffing this one. This is no good. I was thinking too much. You have got to be kidding me. Are we serious right now? I should have been paying more attention. Should have been paying more attention. My goodness. I can't believe they actually didn't have any checkpoint between here and there. That's a little ridiculous. Ow. You dead? I do like that when you shoot them, you can kind of stun lock them. Alright. We good now? Pick this up. Yeah, though unfortunately, I'm sure, like a lot of the cool jobs, they wouldn't take just a regular Joe on a mission like that. They'd want, like, the best of the best. Which, I am not. As much as I would like to be. Yeah, like, see, like, you'd think that this would be, like, a checkpoint, but apparently not. Alright, gotta be careful. I should probably make use of the mutagen, Of course, there's no health out here either. I should probably switch to the shotguns. I do like that these grenades, you can aim them in such a way to, like, snipe people up on higher, higher altitudes and shit. That's pretty cool. I like that. Ooh, you know what? Can I use this against you? How much you want to bet that this does absolutely nothing to them? That gun is useless. I really can't understand why that gun even exists. Ow. I don't know why my mouse is all... Sorry about that, that was probably really disorienting and gross. It was like... getting like sticky feeling, but there's nothing... Is there something weird on my mat? Shouldn't be. No? Okay, it seems to be okay now. Strange. Is there any more weapon ammo for no? So maybe that BFG weapon is just, it's like only good for, maybe it's only good for like fleshy enemies. What do we do? What are we doing here? Do I have my sniper with ammo? I do. Son of a bitch. I saw him throw the grenade and then I thought about it and then... I feel like this is someone's joke where they were like, oh, this is gonna, we'll call it the last exit and then we'll just give them no checkpoints for like three rooms of enemies. That'll be funny. to be fair, I'm not like doing myself a whole lot of favors either, but... So, new plan. Ow. Do not, do not, do not. Although, maybe it would be better if I did. So glad that last bullet got him in the Achilles heel and he died. So, new plan is look at that health. Disgusting. I'm not gonna use that Meson. Every time I say it, the pronunciation gets worse. I'm not going to use that against anything except that corridor of enemies, and I'm going to hope to God that it actually does something to them. Because clearly it doesn't do anything against the turret life forms. You can't... Oh, shit. Sorry. You know what this looks like? This little symbol right here. It kind of looks like the Fansley symbol. But instead of like a heart, it kind of looks like a butt on top, which I mean is also still valid. Oh, shit. It's funny. Oh, you know, I didn't even think about the mutagen either. Although I don't know if that would have helped me there, because it doesn't give me more... Go, 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 go. Okay. It doesn't give me more defense or anything. Are you dead? Yeah, I guess so. Oh, 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 oh. We coolio? The music says so. Oh my god, look at my health again! And I don't, and this time I don't have, oh no, there's some health over here still. I only used 2 of 3. Oh, it only gives me that half though. Wait. Do things a little different. I'm thinking of a stupid. Oh no, there's some over here. Yeah, I'm just gonna fucking do this because this is much easier. There we go. Cool. We're gonna start off with the Mason Cannon. I'm just gonna hope to God it does something. Ah, oh, that was bright. Ugh. Gross. There we go. Just be aggressive. Be aggressive. Ooh, that's no good. Nah, I hate that. So, there's some more health down here. Will it let me go back? Please let me go back. You won't let me go back. Ah, you suck. Suck shit. Just fucking suppressing fire this shit. Ah! Ah! Get him! Get him! Ah, I almost had it! I almost had it! There was only one guy left! I can't believe this shit. Ah. Pissing me off. Alright. So, I did actually do that one on purpose because I wasted a bunch of ammo getting mad. Okay. Let me go. Ow. You're such a dick. I swear the enemies in this room, like the amount of enemies, fluctuates. I'm just having one tonight. I blame the game though for having shitty checkpoints. Why? So there's this room, there's this room, there's the next room immediately with the little things with the turrets in the corridor. There's the third room, that's a pretty big room. There's a hallway. There's a fourth room. No, I counted 5 on my hands just now. So that's 5 different enemy encounters with a bunch of things that really just nail you down with fire constantly. And no fucking checkpoint between any of that. Alright, I think we're good. How did it... Well, I guess the explosion still worked. Even though it somehow, like... Well, that was good. Yeah, that worked out. That worked out nicely. My health is still not great, but it's better than it was last time, I think. Last time I had like a sliver, so... We'll take that. We take those, or whatever people say. You know, as far as... I think one of my most, like the time that I had the most enjoyment doing a bunch of optional grinding in a game was in Kingdom Hearts 1 trying to get the Ultima weapon. Like, that one certainly didn't feel like a slog, because that can easily feel like that, depending on the game that you're playing. I don't know if I would want to do that on stream, because that's a lot to ask people to sit through, you know? But I don't know, maybe one day. Especially if you're just playing it for fun and you're not doing it as like a trying to think of the... like a Chip Cheese Let's Play type thing where it's like, okay, we're doing this for fun, but also we're doing it as kind of like a showcase of everything. Okay. So... that's the best way to go about this. That gives me the best chance of getting to the other side with all of my health intact. I think it's... honestly, I think it's probably Meson Cannon, even though the Meson Cannon kind of sucks dick. Is there anything I'm left in here? Yeah. Meson Cannon, shoot in front and down the hallway, and then I'm just gonna start picking people off with the... with the sniper, I think. Actually, and I'm gonna do this too. I forgot about lean. People probably freaking the fuck out. Why aren't you leaning? Because I forgot. I forgot, okay. Oof, that was good. Very satisfying. Let's, yeah, let's not get caught in that, shall we? Cool. And ran out of ammo. How we feeling, boys? Be cool? Ooh, here's health. Nice. And a bunch of ammo, too. Nice. Okay, cool. I was, like, right next to everything that I needed. I just couldn't get to it. If I had killed that one guy, and I hadn't floundered, I bet you if I had just gone in for, like, a melee strike, I probably could have killed the guy last time. I bet you I could have. Hello. How you doing tonight? Oh, you like make me go all the way back? Ooh, I can snipe you guys. Nope. Oof, ouch. There we go. Oh, I could have killed him that way too. That would have been funny. Yeah, I haven't thought about this game in a long time, but I am enjoying it despite its some of its quirks. Some of the checkpointing could be a little better, but yeah, definitely a very fun game. Although I don't think it did super well when it came out. Are we? Oh, I gotta... okay. What is the better weapon for this? So you do pretty good. Well, you know what? Let's, I remember this doing pretty good. Oh, I knocked myself out of it. Whoops, that was the wrong key. Damn it. I think there's health over here. Yeah. Ooh, I have a lot of ammo for this, actually. Ooh. Okay. You dead? Yeah. There we go. Where's the last one? Oh, here you are. Ooh, I'm low on health. Yeah, well, they don't need to bring it back because it's, you know, it became abandonware after the Air Force, didn't want to use it anymore. So, you know, you can just freely download it. Getting it to work, that's the touching point. And more to the point, getting it to work in a way that if you wanted to stream it is also a little bit of a stickler. Ah, what was that? Oh, they're shooting. What do I got to handle you guys? Not a lot. Someone's still shooting at me, but I don't know where from. Ow. Ah, here you are. It's so dark over here. They blended in. Oh, thank goodness. Nope, that's a dead end. Alright. I wouldn't say it's the greatest game, but it's definitely very fun. And the amount of effort they put into all the secrets and whatnot is definitely pretty nice. I like reading all the logs. Ooh. Actually getting to parts of game that I don't remember this at all. So am I supposed to do something with this? Hmm. Ah, I do shoot those. Okay. I think there's like one left right here. Two left. Oh, they have multiple states of being broken. Ah, oh. Oh, it's hurting me. Well, that's fantastic. What? Okay, that's not nearly as bad as I thought it was. Why were they just posted out the door like that? That was weird. Ooh. Get your ass too. There we go. Oh, no. Get the health. There we go. Okay, so this time, gonna do some controlled bursts here. What's happening? Oh, it's because these things are moving now. Yeah, so I want to hide behind these as I do this. That's the problem. Come on, show me your thing. Oh, it's close. Ooh. Gonna try to get him on the... Okay, now I gotta wait. Ah. Ooh, ooh, we got it? Destroy gun... Oh, what? These guys? Oh, don't get me. Okay, well, I got that one. Just the one left. I think I can just shoot him. There we go. What? Escape? Oh, okay. Oh, is there health over here? No. Ooh. Oh, this is just... Hi.
The philosopher Sartre once said, "Hell is other people." He was only half right. My mind and body have been altered beyond reason. I don't know who or what I am anymore. We came here to rescue a small group of men. We failed. I failed. But their sacrifices may have saved mankind. For now.
Wow, that ends a lot more abruptly than I ever remembered it. Well, hey, there it is. I remember there being a little bit more lead up to the ending than that. But... And I thought you talked to... I could have sworn you talked to Edgar more. But really, you saw him once, and then every other time it was just him possessing bodies. Interesting. What are you even saying? Alright, I'm gonna go back into the data banks, and I'm gonna read the rest of these, and then watch whatever videos I've collected, and then... What time is it? I think rather than having this have multiple things in it, once I'm through with all that, I'll just end it for the night, and then tomorrow I'll come back with, I'm still not sure. It might be crab meat. Maybe I'll start on Kingdom Hearts. One of them. Internal changes? No. Search. Might jar, unknown life form. That's the one about it being very popular. Ebola test. I should have wrote this down. Remember where I left off on. Cray assassination, that was the... That was them talking about the poor lady. Internal changes. Aha, I think this is the new one. S4 laboratory. Oh, can I do the... Oh, it'll just let me do it from the beginning. Cool. Supervising Research Officer Frederick Henry White. After the successful recapture of the escaped Phase 2, we immediately went to work studying the miraculous evolution of this creature during its exposure to the world outside of the S4 laboratory. Oh, S4, yeah, okay. Examination of both palms revealed a large orifice currently covered with a thin membrane. We assumed that this membrane would eventually rupture and merely served as a temporary protective cover early in the creature's growth. Slicing the membrane away on the left palm, we inserted an endoscope up through the canal inside the forearm and discovered a powerful organ with muscle cells much like a heart. Inside this muscular organ were several glands containing some very curious tentacled organisms. We assumed that if the creature were to mature, these glands would secrete the organisms into the muscular organ and be forcefully ejected out of the palm. Through the canal in the forearm. What these organisms, parasites, will do once ejected is not clear at this point. Oh, well, now it doesn't want to work. Oh, is it literally just... So it won't do it when I'm on it, but it will do it if I have the cursor over it. Oh, that's easier than I thought it was. Okay. Learn something new every day. Where was I? Here it is. Examination of the creature's back revealed patches of skin not covered by the same hair found all over the body. Blistering of the skin seems to have damaged the hair follicles in this area. Lead technician Donald Ancira punctured one of the larger blisters on the creature's back, expelling an airborne organism which quickly sought out and penetrated his body. We believe that this contagion was the cause of Ancira's sudden and aggressive behaviors towards all the other technicians in the room. Further work on the creature has been delayed as we await the removal of the victims and their remains from the laboratory. We have posted several position openings for laboratory assistants to other branches of the organization and hope to conduct more research soon. Yeah, you know. Just gotta fill those ranks up once they die. Mr. Rosen, I regret the impersonal nature of this request, sir, but due to the workload of our field agents, I must request additional details regarding the Black Level operation. Please complete and return the following. Again, I apologize for the formal nature of this request, but we are dealing with a considerable backlog among our North American operatives. Sincerely, M. Reed. Target of operations, last, first, middle, desired, objective, Termination, coercion, abduction, surveillance. If you checked coercion, please provide additional detail. Approved desired methodology. Sleep deprivation, torture, blackmail, extortion, psych terror. Will you sanction involvement of target's friends and or family? Yes, no. Additional friend-family detail. Abduction, death, removal of limbs, scarring, blindness. Do you require a follow-up report? Yes, no. What was this called? Death request form letter. How horrifying. Teletype override. Code sequence A51 event Loki. Listening, authenticating, handshake, authenticated. Suspect, potential site compromise, stop. Evaluate situation if critical, initiate contingency agenda desert bloom. Stop. Repeat. If critical, initiate contingency agenda desert bloom, full sanitization of site, sterilize all biological samples, degrade all records, terminate all staff, any and all means authorized, stop. By highest shard authority. Shard authority. Situation must be contained. Retransmit to all Black 04 level command personnel. You know, some parts of this, it kind of reminds me of a lot of the really interesting parts of all of the SCP entries that I enjoy. I really like how so obviously the SCPs themselves are interesting. Most of them, you know, there's a lot now. Frankly, probably like the first 3 generations, you know, from like series of things, and then they went on to whatever the another was, and then blah blah blah. I think probably the first 3 were the most interesting, and then after that it was like, you know, you had some good ones in there here and there, but I haven't read every single one of them, but I don't know. Once it got past 3, I think each one was 1,000, right? So it was 0 to 99, 999, and then, you know, so on and so forth. But yeah, I like hearing all of the sort of interpersonal agency contingencies, plans, like protocols, not plans, but protocols that are in place, and then like reports from certain ground troops, like so the what do they call them, the mobile task force guys, like hearing whenever they have like reports specific from them, versus just the scientists, you know, even if there were some scientists that were like, they kind of became like inner world famous because people started like cameoing them in other things, you know. But yeah, I don't know, I really like all that stuff. I like a lot of, I don't know, I like a lot of boring protocol, so that's why I like Star Trek. The, you know, the old Star Trek that's like good anyway. You know, it was not that it's all boring, because clearly it's not. They have, you know, more tense sort of action episodes and stuff too here and there. But I like how regimented everything is, and how, not by the books, but like everybody is so competent in what they're doing that just watching them go about their business and do their jobs is entertaining, you know? Confidential memorandum. Read and delete. Mr. White. Oh, geez, what? We have been made aware that an outside agent is working his way down and disrupting the infection plan. This cannot be tolerated, and you must make all efforts to eliminate the subject. Please send a full squad of Dark Ops to handle it. Your usual extermination squad of 1 Red Op leader and 3 Black Ops will not suffice this time. Make sure to have your techs test all Red Ops suits. Some of our new lab-cooked experiments seem to be able to see some of them even when they are cloaked. This obviously reduces their effectiveness at stealth. We gave them the greater intelligence and better tools to serve as very effective field leaders, and I will not have our plans ruined just because some lazy lab coats get on it. This is most critical juncture in our most important endeavor. Mr. White, do not fail us. Signed. Oh. Is that supposed to be the sign for Majestic 7? Well, no, the one that people talk about, that's not Majestic 7. That's Majestic 12, right? MJ 12? Yeah. Well, which one was I thinking of? There was some other shadowy group at some point that I think was like, oh geez, I missed a bunch here. I wonder if I was thinking... What do they call in Deus Ex? Is that also Majestic 12? I think it is. Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. Maybe I just got the number wrong. Maybe it's that simple. Instructions for RSA-41 biohazard handling. Proper use of robotic servo arm. Handling. The large-scale biocanister arm is built to withstand 50,000 pounds of force per square inch and can take temperature extremes from 4 Kelvin to as high as 5,000 degrees Celsius. Why did they switch from Kelvin to Celsius? It can operate on the highest mountain, deepest ocean, coldest Arctic, or the vacuum of space. It is ready for any extreme. However, there are still safeguards one must employ. Do not enter the swing radius of the arm. If the arm detects any resistance, it is programmed to assess it, then either move through it, or remove the obstruction with its saw claw 4000 defendo limbs. Oh boy, what a name. These have been repurposed from the Defense Department Crowd Laceration Unit. What? Defense Department Crowd Laceration Unit. That's so funny. And are perhaps a little too effective at removing impediments. Do not touch the magna rails. Any slight variance in oh boy, I keep reading it and my mouth just like stops working. Impedance will cause a static burst at the contact point of approximately 36,500 volts and around 42,000 amps. 4,200 amps. Containment. The RSA-41 is at the leading edge of biohazard containment. Its canisters are made with 6-inch thick transparent thermosteel with a 49,000 joule magnetic resonance containment field. Nothing but nothing can escape these canisters. Oh, I get it. However, since the materials are so hazardous, they must be neutralized should they escape. Should a negative containment ever occur, you will have about 0.0004 seconds to run before the battleship welding sun core insta-laser will instantly detect, target, and vaporize any biological matter in the area. Any remaining bits not in the direct sightline of the insta-laser will find themselves in a sudden vacuum as the side panel of the RSA-41 opens to reveal one of our friend's pocket star microsingularities. The panel is closed again, and a burst of argon, aerated carbolic acid, and nerve gas will fill the immediate 10,000 cubic feet of workspace to ensure no hazardous material escapes. Then, the entire unit will let go of its releases and plummet through the whole tech safe T-pit directly into the Earth's core. Talk about overkill. I mean, when you really want to make sure that you don't cause some sort of, I don't know, pandemic, I guess you just open a black hole up on Earth and hope it doesn't swallow everything up. Also, do the aliens call it the Pocket Star Microsingularity, or do we call it that? Did we trademark that for them? Delivery. The RSA-41 will deliver its containers floating on a delicate magnetic field. Should any event occur, endangering the safe transport of the hazardous material and likely implying enemy attack and destruction of our way of life, A dead man switch will trigger the Satan's Column Final Strike fusion event, creating a small sun consuming approximately 1/4 of the Earth's mass. However, the disruption is highly unlikely, so use your RSA-41 with confident caution. My goodness, and that was only one. I only found one of those. Ah, so now that I'm at the... Yeah, so I'm... So I got about... just a little under 2/3 of all of the little data bank vault secrets in the game. Not bad. Not bad for not like, you know, obsessively going through every level. Subject Lieutenant Charles Jacoby, mutancy level 100, mutagen level 40, sporecasting sacs full growth, cerebral nanotraining 80% failure, frontal lobe 20% capacity, he's a bit dumb, corpus callosum 120% normal alert activity, occipital 50%, cortical storm events present. Victor Weisbrod cloning. Oh, this guy. Kraylog. Success seems to be the order of the day. Our latest step forward in cloning perfection is embodied in Victor 6. It's like the, it's the clones in DS, it's the Vorta in DS9. You have the Wayuns. What was the most famous Wayun? Was it 4? Or was it 5? I don't remember. There was one that, like, lasted a pretty long time, and then... probably... I don't know if it was ever actually confirmed, but most likely he was actually assassinated by Damaru, who killed him in, like, a transporter malfunction and pretended it was an accident. He possesses not only the likeness of my former assistant, the late Victor Weisbrod, but his intellect as well. I feel a strange sense of familiarity with this clone and relish the idea that my dear friend Victor may just have been fully resurrected in this latest attempt. Initial intelligence tests show a remarkable IQ rating that is on par with Victor's. I can't help but think that a bond is forming between the two of us, as we were both sensing a familiarity in our relationship and demeanor. The success of this clone has completely eliminated my disappointment with our last clone, Victor 5. Victor 5 suffers from an underdeveloped brain function brought on by an error in the oxygenation of the synthetic embryonic solution. The starvation of precious oxygen to his brain caused noticeable damage in the form of autism, as well as giving his personality an annoying sense of need and belonging. Wow, Dr. Gray. His duties are relegated to menial tasks and chores. I do, however, enjoy his company, if only to remind me of how childlike Weisbrod really was in times of extreme inebriation. Sort of fucked. Kraylog. My personal investigation into the covert activities of Frederick White leaves me to believe that a serious conflict between the two of us is inevitable. I sent Victor 6 on a mission to retrieve any information that he could in order to substantiate my suspicions of a covert cloning program run by Frederick. He managed to secure several electronic documents, laboratory entries, which proved to be quite interesting. It appears that Frederick's mental instability has manifested itself as extreme egomania and narcissism. He has actually created a series of clones in the image of himself. After the death of his wife, in the weapons testing range, Frederick became disillusioned and distraught with anger. The sacrifice of his wife's life for the government was too much for him to bear, leading to a mental breakdown. What arose from the ashes of his anger and depression was a new desire. It was at this vulnerable point in Frederick's life that the Illuminati contacted him and offered him solace as well as an opportunity for revenge. The Illuminati has access to wealth of resources, technology, and knowledge. On a recent reconnaissance task, Victor 6 observed these clones and found that they are equipped not only with teleportation technology, but also with broad-spectrum vision monocles. Oh yeah, you can see that in the thing he's wearing. I am curious as to what this allows the clones to see that may be unseen. I fear that my former friend and colleague has and will become my ultimate obstacle. Internal memorandum, Dr. Winston Cray. Authorized personnel with Yankee White clearance. Damn it. The GDC decontamination taper is multi-purpose. I can't talk tonight. Hold on. Of course, it uses the standard antibacterial and human-safe antibiotic sprays. The GDC also has a number of covert functions. It samples and stores the subject DNA for GST Global DNA Database, which contains 100% of government employees and approximately 72% of the Earth's individuals at this point. It's horrifying. If it senses any short-term threatening illnesses, it neutralizes them with a triangulated microwave beams. Okay. Short-term. If it senses no long-term illnesses, it causes a malignant mutation that will likely kill the subject at around 80 years of age, unless they have YW clearance or higher. Over time, this has been proven to keep the populace under manageable size and control. What? Any inappropriate contacts on the subject's person or sensitive data on any standard format recorded media is reported to local government authorities. In the case of data, is instantly replaced with low-level encrypted data containing terrorist threats and drug transaction falsified tax information. So, I'm wondering... So, it says decontamination chamber. However, I wonder if this is supposed to be... Like, this is what they call it, but this is like a... This is a... Like, what we would know it as is something different, and that's what they mean by population control. Like, it's like a... Like those things at the airport that you have to go through now. And so it's like, oh, well, this one, it's a, you know, it's an x-ray and whatever. But in the case of this, it's like, oh, yeah, we, you know, so many people go through this day in, day out. And then, you know, if it'll get rid of short-term threatening illnesses, but if you don't have any long-term ones, it'll give you one. And if you have anything on you that they don't like, they'll ruin your life over it because it'll beam, you know, falsified tax information into your pocket somehow. That's an interesting one. Ooh. Hatching parasites. Report to the Joint Chiefs and Developmental Test Command. Clearance, ARIA, eyes only, no Fron. The XM197 Jumpin' Bean high-yield plasma grenade, oh hey, that's why it's called JB, has completed its first successful testing at the Papoose Lake firing range. The this is going to be difficult for me to say tonight. The miniaturization of the Crytron switches still presents a safety issue, as the problem of inconsistent switch firing has not been completely eradicated from the weapon design. If the operator is not careful to loft the grenade within the established maximum velocity specifications, the switches fire erratically, causing the deployment package to fail and the grenade to become a dangerous jumping bean. If the operator can deploy the weapon within the velocity specifications, the deployment package will rapidly accelerate the high-yield plasma warhead to the intended target. The plasma implosion has achieved a 45-centimeter penetration of cold-rolled homogeneous steel. Further testing is recommended before mass production. I mean, there was a lot just lying around the facility, so they must have done that. From General Andrew Meyerson to Lieutenant General Robert B. Kieran III, Importance High. Dear Lieutenant General Kieran, Bob, I understood the report the first time you threw it at my desk. How in the hell do you expect me to massage data like this. Massage? You do understand who my boss is, right? Maybe we need to pull you out of the desert sun, buddy. 8 months ago, I had no idea the little gray bastards could communicate at all. Now you're trying to get me to accept that they had involvement in Dealey Plaza? That they all got together and closed their big creepy eyes and they just dreamed until the shooters all made a pilgrimage to Dallas? Do you realize how this will go over? It was bad enough to think about Castro being involved. At least he's one of us. You mean like human? Or you mean... I don't know, what do you mean by that? I suggest you ask our little friends for a better story, or you come up here to the hill to present your little report yourself. Cordially, General Andrew Meyerson. Yeah, defends the Pentagon. Huh. Interesting. At least he's one of us. I'm guessing they mean human. Yersinia pestis detected. What was this called? Hold on. Alien parasitic creature. Yersinia pestis detected. Base computers reveal this strain of the pneumonic plague seemed to have significantly increased mass, weighing 2.1 gram per 5 moles, as opposed to 0.047 grams. This hardy version of YP has been introduced into various Animalia chordata mammalian classes with mild success, but in various microscopic organisms, the virus is said to bully the host into wild mutation and rapid growth surges. After injection into... oh boy. Microsterius truncata desmids, the creature grew enormously and when attacked would simply divide into smaller versions of themselves. The initial lab was soon overrun by the creatures and not all specimens have been contained as of yet. That doesn't sound good. So laser progress report. Groom Lake file. Bow-wing laser spectrographic sampler. AEE alien energy element. Element 311. Interesting. I wonder if I possibly I missed it, but I wonder if there is a file in the databank somewhere that either I haven't come to yet or that I missed somewhere in one of the levels that talks about element 115. Purpose. Not technically a laser. The LSS uses two-dimensional energy plane to split atoms into leptons and quarks, correlating muon and tau leptons into a tight Bucelli loop, ideally containing the leptons indefinitely and creating a lepton mass possibly useful for quantum computation or matter disruption. However, the tolerances of the device are so high that the accident and mortality rate per experiment is nearly 100%. An outcome nearly leading Boeing Inc. to cancel funding until it was rebudgeted as solely weapons research, where such outcomes are acceptable. Oh, well, you know, that's... Dr. Shanazy. Oh, she's so snazzy. Project Blue Book. Didn't I have a... No, I think I had a file that was just Project Blue Book, but this isn't specifically here. Ben, here's the data I copied from the downlink. Singularity location, latitude, west 33 degrees, longitude 70, exactly as if placed with knowledge of our Greenwich-oriented latitude scale. More interesting is that if placed on the original Rhinal scale from 1506, it also lines up perfectly on latitude 70 degrees west and longitude 70 degrees. It seems to have... Man, getting a lot of weird bots and shit tonight. Oh. There we go. It seems to have a very localized effect for its mass and only to absorb matter at certain times, as if triggered. The singularity also seems to rise and fall according to the cycle of the moon. Could this have resulted in the loss of the naval aircraft? I hope this helps. Dr. Davis. Ugh, eyeballs. Okay. Dearest Amato, regarding your inquiry is what is it even called? SETI redirection. Oh, hey, I'm glad I found this one. This one's interesting. Or this one should be interesting. Regarding your inquiry, it is our code running within the bowels of their machines. Our agents, through a technical subsidiary, are the architects of the most underlying elements of the SETI system. Specifically, in response to your concern about the program, I can say this. Any signals received that evidence a pattern or any discernible form of intelligence are immediately filtered before the aggregate data is reviewed by SETI personnel. Further, the time block surrounding the signal is entirely replaced with a randomized sequence of spurious readings. I can have one of our engineers draft an executive summary for you if you would like further details on the system's exoteric. But I assure you that the technology concepts our agents have gleaned from contact with our allies are quite revolutionary. I trust that you and your sister will join us for the gathering next fall. I would consider it an honor if you both chose to accept my invitation to stay here at my northern estate. I assure you that you will find the accommodations comfortable and the company pleasurable. Sincerely, Roland, Novus Ordo Seclorum. I didn't like how he ended that little letter there. That little creepy. Groom Lake, Yankee White clearance only. Prototype specification X-43A scramjet aircraft. The X-43A is the flagship prototype of the Hyper-X program, attempting to merge the new Gray technology with our own. Oh, I wonder if some of the stuff that we saw, it was actually, yeah, it was a mixture of our stuff with their stuff. The graviton repulsion retrieved, studied, and replicated from the Roswell craft is approximately 99.8% efficient, as opposed to the relatively poor 55% of our technology. Adapting the technology has proved difficult due to the heavy radiation emitted from the core. Shielding has had limited effect, so energy-based solutions are in the works. Regardless, the scramjet must rise to at least 100 feet on its own conventional propulsion lest it kill the ground troops near the takeoff point. Key to targeting is the time predictive reticule, which accurately tracks the delta stream of the target and can shoot it with perfect accuracy. Modifications are underway for the missile to travel in this and all universes to prevent reality skipping and avoid injury. Hold on, let me read that again. Modifications are underway for the missile to travel in this and all universes to prevent reality skipping and avoid injury. Huh. So, that reality skipping thing is interesting, because I remember when I was talking about the S4 thing that I watched and some of the interesting points about that, they mentioned how when you have all of the emitters and amplifiers installed and like in place where they should be, like you can turn on, according to Bob Lazar anyway, so you can turn on however many that you want, and if you use all of the emitters and amplifiers, that's what you use for the interstellar travel, and it is like skipping across space. So it's not a continuous speed, it's burst of speed, land in a spot, burst of speed, land in a spot. So them reality skipping. I wonder if that's like what they were referencing. But back in 2005, like obviously he came out with his story, you know, quite a while ago. But I wonder if he mentioned that about all of the amplifiers and the emitters and stuff. Was that part of the established like story already? I don't know. If you were ever in our actual airspace, you would be terminated. Scientists have not determined how to counteract the enemy going two-dimensional and creating a depth shunt, or four-dimensional and doing a time shunt. yeah, how do you deal with that? Research continues upon the larger mothership, which has a super cyclic field which seems to generate 5 times the power pooled per joule input. Theories are that it is actually destroying matter in the 5th dimensional tier for fuel. The Greys will not share if there are sentient beings there which might be affected. I imagine even if there were, they wouldn't care. They didn't seem to have a whole lot of empathy for anything. As tasked, I have listed the... Probably should have read that. Public Alien Technology Device Report. As tasked, I have listed the summary headings for the requested Shard 7 project, driven by our North American enclaves. A noteworthy point is this. Often, our challenge is not in redirecting these unearthly technological marvels for our organization's noble and historic aims. It is frequently a simple matter to adapt the resulting technologies to projects that serve us as powerful revenue generators or in matters related to cultural management. The challenges in creating plausible projects or those which seem to rise from existent and evolutionary scientific studies. This is where cleverness is required. A servant to our cause. Rosa Baron Flores, early September, Cambridge, MA. Project. Narrow Opiate Field Entertainment Telecom 1982. Annual revenue, US 2.84 billion. Profits derived primarily from component patents. New developments released according to schedule. Flat screen. Oh, flat screen and high definition releases provide most recent spikes in revenue stream. Paper thin and holographic versions planned for future releases, circa plus 1 decade. Oh, that's interesting. So yeah, some of the alien tech we just sort of scavenged and took, then gets used for, okay, we'll make money with this, but we have to stagger it over time. So first you come out with the flat screens and the high definition, and then eventually that gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and then you eventually get to a point where it's like, okay, well now you can literally just have like oh, what was that movie? It's is it? It's not coming to me. The Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he was I'm remembering the book name. We can remember it for you wholesale. What was the name of the movie though? Shit. Either way, whatever the movie was called. That for some reason I'm not. Total Recall. That's what it's called. They had like the wall would just turn into a screen, and then it would turn back into a wall when you turned it off, and it was just like it was totally completely flat, and you could basically put it anywhere because it was like it was just like a thin, it was almost like a wallpaper instead. And that seems to be what they're getting at here, where it's like, okay, we know how to do this already, but it's just a matter of we need to stagger it for a while, and then, you know, let people spend all their money on this, have it for a while, and then eventually be like, hey, new thing, pretty cool, you probably want it, and then people start buying all that. And then you just keep going and keep going, you keep going. Project Radar Oven, Field Home Appliance, annual revenue 3.17 billion. Project Sky Saucer, Athletic Novelty, annual revenue 281 million. Revenue summary include sporting and canine disc varieties. Like a frisbee? Project Sticky Cloth, Swiss patent redirection, 635 million. Project Non-Stick Resin, frictionless research, 1948 false record, 1938 annual revenue 882 million. That's a really interesting idea. That's super interesting. Lies of the Past, Echelon Network. Ooh. The Global Echelon Network consists of more than half of the world's supercomputers completely dedicated to automatically searching through billions of intercepted messages for pre-programmed keywords, phrases, telephone numbers, email addresses, and specifies voice prints. Oh, you mean like today? Every message in the frequencies monitored at an Echelon station is automatically decrypted, searched, and indexed. Echelon dictionaries contain words or phrases the system searches for and are updated hourly. Echelon processes millions of messages every hour. The system runs 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Each message flagged by an Echelon dictionary is sorted by 4-digit code representing the source or subject of that message, such as 6969 for Russian mob traffic or 1187 for traffics about Colombian drug cartels. Information mined from the intercepts are given various classifications: Moray, secret; Spoke, non-classified commercial information; Umbra, no Fron, top secret; and Druid, top secret, but okayed for Fron distribution. The Echelon project has been linked to projects GT6, Runway, Vortex, and Silkworth. Echelon stations are located in the United States, England, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. One Echelon station in the United States, Echelon 4, is located in Austin, Texas, and is specifically tasked with monitoring all US-based online traffic. This monitoring of US citizens is codenamed Inevitable and Research Boulevard. How dystopian of you. Oh. Animal experimentation notes. Oh, this one's gonna be sad. From Ministry of Enlightenment and Truth. Alright, that's gotta be Illuminati. Ooh, urgent HARP advances. I remember working at so this was a previous job that I was working at, and we had this guy come in who just like he didn't really know what he needed or wanted. I think he was kind of just around to use up some time, you know, which is like whatever, that's fine. But he went on a huge long tangent about HARP and how, like, yeah, we are already controlling the weather, and they just don't want to admit it to people because then the question would be, okay, well, why don't you use it in a better way so that, like, you can sort of avoid certain natural phenomena that, like, cause a lot of damage? And it's like, well, because that's not in their best interest, you know? So, like, instead, they just go, no, it doesn't do that. It's just like you know, we use it for trying to keep track of stuff, but we can't, like, control the weather with it. Like, he was very adamant about the fact that this was actually happening. And, you know, clearly, I don't know. I've heard a couple of things back and forth, whether or not that's true or not, but, you know. Unless like, even if, well, I say even if, like, I had the proof in front of me, I don't know enough about the ins and outs of how something like that would even work. Even if you had the proof in front of me and I could sit there and read it, I would really only have the assurance of whoever gave it to me that that's true to be able to say, oh, okay, so they can do that. The HARP project is progressing well. We decided to approach the American public with apparent openness and full disclosure in an effort to hide our activities in plain sight. We even promoted the acronym HARP to stand for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. Oh, how gullible the public is. Why, there aren't even enough letters in the acronym to support the words we gave them. Silly people. I was gonna say, didn't that... Yeah. The actual project purpose and name, Hardware Augmentation of Animals to Receive Programming, is our long-standing technology initiative to command the resources of the world's animal population to perform tasks under our will. This is a crazy one. Some animals have been recruited to perform reconnaissance, such as dolphins. Others have been used to shuttle raw materials from our undersea bases to our hidden ports off the coast of Greenland. We have used flocks of birds as a way to disguise the radar signature of our crafts as they travel from various areas to gather more raw materials. Our latest creation equips Earth's greatest oceanic predator with our most effective weaponry. The results, a powerful combination of an awesome vision come to life, sharks Sharks with laser beams. Frickin' laser beams. We are quite sure that we will find ample use for such beasts in our plans for world domination. We've decided to maintain several of them in our underwater sea base, in our undersea base tank for any of our unfortunate visiting guests. Sharks with frickin' laser beams. That's so funny. That's really funny. Oh. Witness elimination menace. Ooh, okay. Actually, so that one was a lot less sad than I thought it was. I thought it was gonna be, like, really terrible animal experimentation. But it's just, oh yeah, no, we just use HARP to, like, it's like you're so Aquaman's power, but just extended to all animals. So you just, hey birds, we need you to go do this. Hey sharks, we need you to go do this. Also, we'll equip you with laser beams. That's cool. Dolphins, go spy on the Russians for us. It's so funny. Oh, that's really funny. Bertrand, as courtesy to you and your well-regarded council, I've forwarded along a brief history of my father's most important, if darkest, work regarding the use of what he referred to as the modern serial killer mythos, primarily on the North American continent. As you know, I don't know. As you know, his principal goal was not the concealment of a scattering of 20th century events, but rather the creation of a powerful tool that would continue to serve us indefinitely. This was his brilliant vision, the entry into the collective narrative of a horrifying figure, a modern boogeyman, who first created by society, then moves invisibly through the urban infrastructure, taking the lives of the innocent. My father focused on socioeconomics and various psychotherapeutic fields in order to create false social predictors related to the emergence of this figure, the incarnate representation of one of our greatest fears, an enemy with a complete lack of empathy. His work clearly ties together ancient cautionary tales as a means of encouraging orderly cultural behaviors, along with inherently modern constructs such as the U.S. highway system. What? Encouraging orderly... Huh. Initially, of course, our use of this mythos figure was exclusive to removing crash site witnesses and people who persisted in investigating related events. Later, we began to employ it in the pursuit of capture of qualified test subjects to be handed over to our allies. On certain occasions, it has also been useful in silencing project defectors. Of course, none of my father's success would have been feasible without the work of one man, Johann Meyergard. His lifetime of dedication to the study of the subject of social engineering can be found in our restricted library, and only in our library. See Meyergard Deliberate Societal Meme Transmission, a Geoanthropological Study of Information Migration Patterns. Desmond Atreus. Rome, Italy. So basically they were using... trying to wrap my head around that. So they were using what people perceived as just like unhinged serial killers that seemed to just strike based on their own patterns to take care of their own problems, and then they were just like a... not even like a scapegoat, I guess. It was just... although I suppose for the ones that got caught, someone did end up being a scapegoat. But yeah, so rather than everything being looking like some sort of government kidnapping and or hit, it was hidden under the guise of, well, a lot of serial killers out there, especially during certain time periods. Population control documentation. wasn't this what was that show that people were talking about however many years ago? It was was it called like Utopia or something? It was like a British show. Uh that for some reason like it a lot of people seem to like it, but for some reason it didn't get it like had like its first season and it ended and then they just never picked it up for the second one. And that one was I think about that where it was uh like there was like a sh- secret shadowy cabal and they were trying to like reduce population somehow. I forget if it was like uh all at once or if it was like a thing that they were doing that would affect everything at once, but then it would slowly happen over time where like a whole bunch of people would die off and only certain people would live. And that was to like try to help reduce the numbers so that resources on the earth would go back up and be replenished and then like we wouldn't overcrowd the earth, I guess. Was like the thinking of the shadowy cabal. And then you had all the regular people who ended up getting sort of like on their radar because of information they found, and so they were trying to like eliminate them. uh I should probably watch that. It sounded like it was pretty good. uh Although the fact that it doesn't seem to have like an ending is a little it's hard to want to watch something when you know that it sort of just like ends and you're like, there's not like an actual ending to this though. Illuminated initiates. Discussed herein is a program with which you are all familiar, Project Soma Horizon. Detailed notes are contained in this transmission for all stages summarized below. All stages are based on our work with amino acid precursors of the neurotransmitter serotonin. Stage 1 involved the push to prescribe anti-hyperactivity medications at the elementary school level. Oh, is this about the overprescription of ADHD med? Promising pharmaceuticals were administered to the test case population demographic grades K through 5, mostly upper society. My goodness. Mostly upper socioeconomic status. Results were promising, but a few mishaps occurred. Information was suppressed in any cases involving drug-related fatalities. Stage 2 was related to psychotropic drugging of delinquent adolescents. Briefly, we saw the emergence of a muscle-paralyzing disease that was caused by an impurity in one manufactured process. Damage inflicted in many cases was permanent, requiring sanitization of specific households and families. Wow. Eventually, the process was corrected, and the stage was deemed a success. Well, I guess that's all that matters, huh? Stage 3, in accordance with our protocol, cannot be committed to print in traditional or electronic form. Wow. Stage 4 was also successful in middle-aged adults, though reproductive dysfunction caused a temporary setback on the PR front. Discrediting the US FDA drug testing process, redirecting the blame away from our subsidiaries, put us back on track. Stage 5, as you all know, will involve the mainstreaming of these drugs, resulting in a much more compliant global population. Various introduction scenarios have been brought to the table, but the one currently favored involves a staged global terrorist attack involving bioweapons. Our drug will be positioned and branded as two competing antitoxins requiring weekly ingestion. As ancillary benefit of this program, high profitability was seen through various pharmaceutical subsidiaries, primarily from worldwide sales of SSRI, antidepressants. Wow. I expect you all to familiarize yourselves with the latest report. I want an analysis and strategic commentary from each of you by the middle of the next quarter. That's an insane one. Now boarding. Alien language leak closure. Honored sir, we traced the communique back to Oslo, where the subject was staying in a locally owned hostel. The subject was an American freelance operative specializing in linguistics. We were unable to determine the party who originally contracted the services of the subject. However, when we entered the subject's room, he was in the process of composing a summary report, and our agents were able to successfully contain the transmission and terminate the subject. The last entry of his documentation is cited below. A full report will be delivered by hand in London. Research notes, pictographic ties, Thursday, project near completion. In trying to make sense of these findings, I'm dealing with an ideographic script where each grapheme has an abstract and not necessarily a clear pictorial link with the meaning of the word represented. This is truly amazing. From what I've seen so far, the alien pictographic language shares a number of similarities with the logogrammatic symbols used in Illuminati writings throughout history. Note that these symbols seem to mean the same thing in both languages, in the same way Chinese characters mean the same thing whether they are read in a variety of Chinese dialects or even Japanese, a language which is as unlike Chinese in its internal structure as it is possible. Some of the pictographic metaphor common to both Illuminati inner network codes and extraterrestrial cipher records can also be seen in the Great Chinese Dictionary of Kangxi, Kangxi. Not going to be able to do that one properly. 1662 to 1722? In the 4,000-year-old Paleo-Hebrew inscription found in the archaic alphabet of Israel and in ancient petroglyphs found on the rock walls. This has stunning implications that could set in motion radical worldwide shift in our understanding of practically everything we believe. When I get back to Boston, I will. You will nothing. Because they neutralized you. Alien Artifact Storage List. United States Government Official Material Manifest from Groom Lake Military Facility. Edward, here are the items for storage. Take good care of them. Winston. Contents: 7 AEE-311 energy canisters, 4 titanium lattice material samples, 1 planet tunneling vector spear, do not switch on, 2 collapsed sun drainer panels from Allurian System assault ship, 15 nanotech communication dots contained in facial mold disguise approved for social use after tests with CC models succeeded in public approbation. 3 alien manuals. Gray's inform us closest translation of title is something like Serving Humans, something like that. Last minute edition. Oh, and a half dozen... What? Oh, and a half dozen of those red fake wax lips the Greys like to play with. That's funny. Water fluoridate... Oh, wow. On topical. Dr. Elways. Yes, sodium fluoride is a highly toxic ionic molecule. Don't quote technical reference to me, my boy. The introduction into the water supply killed 2 birds with 1 very tiny stone, if you'll forgive an old woman her black sense of humor. The substance was building up as an industrial byproduct of our activities. The human body does a nice job of processing it, making the general populace a massive parallel waste conversion system. Quite clever. Additionally, the controlling leadership at the time was seeking a means of adjusting population growth to a counter greater median longevity. To this end, early tests show dramatically increased cancer rates within the fluoridated communities, all forms 5%, with rates of osteosarcoma almost double. As a tool, this program has specifically allowed us to focus on the reduction of the average lifespan within the least desirable demographics. Can't say that. As a side effect, it does in fact reduce... Wow. As a side effect, it does in fact reduce tooth decay. Do your homework. Understand that we rarely enact single-purpose programs too inefficient and too obvious. Emma Morgan. So, we process it, getting rid of a problem that you yourself created. It also helps lower the population because you're giving a bunch of people cancer. However, on the upside, it does help reduce tooth decay. So, you know, really you should be paying us. What was that? Water safety report? No, just safety report. Just mixing 2 together. from OOS Area 51. All personnel working with sub-levels 53 for 58. Importance Ultra. Use of buddy system for cavern exploration. Always gotta use the buddy system. After the unfortunate release of 4 specimens from holding section 23, that's no good. In sub-level 54, we have been experiencing a slight amount of personnel loss monthly. While this is well within the safety limits set by section 1259A of the Area 51 protocols, we'd like to remind all personnel in the sub-levels 53 through 58 to use the buddy system while exploring off the main excavation. As you may know, technicians Lum, Franco, and Shmishnani have been missing for 3 weeks, see above for ID photos. Technician Shmishny was last seen starting his initial exploration of Cavern Maya, and contact was quickly lost. Technician Lum was last seen in FTE number 4 in Cavern Locomotive. Before he entered the FTE field toilet and closed. Oh, is that what that stands for? He was muttering something about positive cash flow, which might have been related to his current project of studying EBE metabolic patterns. Technician Franco was last seen studying EBE hieroglyphics in Cavern Play. Some good news, we believe we have identified the partial remains of scientist Hurd, but the body has decomposed so badly we must wait for the DNA results. Hopefully the above cautionary examples will help everyone remember the buddy system. Cordially yours, Lieutenant R. Shelley. The Greys. Oh, suicide. Okay. Yeah, I'm guessing this one's gonna be a little sad. These are my final notes, jotted down here where I've spent so much of my time over the last years. The scientific wonders I have seen within these concrete walls would have easily filled 3 careers in molecular xenobiology. Unfortunately, I have become, or will shortly, the very subject of my work. I have contracted the infection and see no way to counteract the process. With my options limited, I have decided against allowing the infection to run its full course. The thought of losing my intellect, of devolving into one of those things, is too disturbing, too degrading to bear. I have located a pistol taken from one of the members of our unfortunate security staff. After some initial data collection, I managed to open up one of the personnel lockers and found a manual for the weapon, containing fundamentals on its basic operations. I conducted a satisfactory firing experiment using Dr. Rayleigh's body as a realistic target. I felt some measure of remorse at using her corpse in this manner, but I'm sure she would approve of giving her body for science. My methodology will involve angulating the weapon upwards into the roof of my mouth. The desired goals are 1. The quickest cessation of brain activity, 2. The minimum in pain, and 3. Greatest assurance of total success. For these reasons, I discarded employing a scalpel or any of the toxins located therein. May my 2 younger brothers remember me and live full lives. May the horrors we have wrought forever be contained within this complex. May the rest of the world forgive us. Evan von Zelfden. Cattle mutilations. This is going to be an interesting one. A lot of these are interesting. I don't know. I feel like I've said that a couple of times. I do remember when I picked this one up, though. I was like, ooh, this is one I definitely want to read. As I wander the hard ground, I look to the 2 bright skies of this world, lifting my eyes to the sacred mothership hidden above me. I try with all humility to recall the will of the honored coordinators. At times, I am certain I am following their directives, searching these croplands for the creatures that are my holy objective. Who's this written by? Yet at other moments, I cannot remember receiving the wisdom of the coordinators. I experience, very clearly, a number of differing memories, some of which are at odds with one another and cannot be truth. During these time units, I am frightened. Is this written by the perspective of a Grey? Huh. In keeping with what I believe to be my sacredly assigned obligations, I locate the chosen, the select among the bovine mammals of this world. I think it is. When I find them, I cull them from the herd, again in keeping with what I remember of my directives, but my thoughts are often distorted. My mediations no longer work. Calming myself is no longer a form of salvation. I must force myself to concentrate, to maintain focus over the moaning of these wretched creatures. I cut them open according to what I recall, the lines traced in flesh, the pattern language of their blood liquid. I arrange and display the bodily remains of the bovine mammals, trying so hard to remember the proper configurations, but I cannot remember why I was giving this work. I can only hope that the stankified mothership can see my work from above, and that the honored coordinators are pleased. It is so hard to remember. Why ascending saves the ways. Working sub-time unit. I feel like that must be from the perspective of a Gray. That's so weird. Did he write that, or did someone like translate something that he wrote down in his language, and that's what it came out as? This diagram seems to show a Gray surrounded by a protective energy field. Studies indicate that the field could shield against all attacks, but at a cost to energy, and that energy is finite. This energy may also relate to protection during teleportation. Highly charged meson particles seem to rapidly destabilize the shield. Not from what I fucking saw. A strategic trade of low-intelligence workforce for shielding technology might be underway. Let's see if the Greys will give up the goods. We could use this tech for crowd control. Coordinator Talamo. Human autopsy. Galactic Universal Time Unit. Oh, I bet you this is, yeah, this must be another Gray. Honored Worker Subclass Biology. More specimens are needed in Unit Nova. Please request that White Clone 455 procure 10 more human males within 10.5 time units. The last remaining specimen expired 190 Terra time units after thoracic cavity was exposed. This may have been due to shock, as the experiment was performed without anesthesia. They are such frail creatures. Note, this particular specimen, number 43,090, S. Bromley of the Terra subcontinent, England, did last longer than anticipated. May Ascension serve the race. Honored Coordinator, Greater Class Biology. Alien Base. Hold on a second. How many more do I have? Ah. Or we are getting pretty close to the end here. So, Galactic Universal Time Unit. Okay, we got another Gray. Honored Coordinator, Greater Class. Per the most honored, exalted, most emphatic suggestion, the following information has been distributed through the usual channels. Our security is assured. The time has come. May Ascension serve the race. Honored Disseminator subclass. Ah. Lower level map. Honored Sirs. Please refer to the following diagram to determine your location and how to traverse throughout the area. It has come to our attention that certain members of the Select have been overstepping their bounds. This may have been an oversight on our part. Please note the location of the core. Only those with CVC clearance may enter that area. Be warned, as all others will be terminated immediately. May Ascension serve the race. Honored Coordinator, Greater Class. Hover and Propulsion. Grimlake Instruction Manual for New Employees, Section 54.2, Use of the EW Elevators. The elevators used by the aliens are based on their electromagnetic wave propagation device. They are simple to use like our elevators with only a few precautions. Keep your entire body inside the cylinder of the elevator disc. The hexagonal containment fields will shear off any protrusions, such as last year's incidents of 23 field packs, 5 limbs, 2 heads, and 4 genitals. Of course, people. 2. Do not hum. If you should happen to hit a note, 1 demi-quaver above middle C, a cascading resonance may build up in your brain case, liquefying your brain and eyes. Do not jump just before arriving, a standard fun practice in conventional elevators. Entering the translation plane above you would be akin to pushing yourself head first through an interdimensional food processor. In a word, don't. Canister cargo orders. Honored Worker Subclass. Please note the entry points for transported materials. The canisters have been transported from the facility above. All must be on board by their designated time unit. You will succeed. There will be no delays. May Ascension serve the race. Honored Coordinated Greater Class. Wow, I got all of them on this one. Cool. The Super... Crop Circle Origins. Hey. Honored Coordinator Greater Class. Oh, cool. We're going to hear this from their perspective? May my will serve as an extension of your own. In accordance with my directive, I followed our lost brother. His path under the skies of this world was erratic, leading him to the open spaces wherein their food crops are grown. I remained unseen as I traced his movements across the topography. For blocks of time, he burrowed himself into their wild places or hid within their dark spaces of their service structures. Then, operating from some time unit pattern that I was unable to discern, he would emerge. Again and again, he moved through their tallest standing organic food crops, always by night and always in patterns that seemed arbitrary. By the light of their world star, his madness was clear. Using only his limbs, he flattened their carefully ordered rows of vegetation, creating glyphic shapes that would most easily be seen from above. Though indecipherable, I have wondered if these patterns were some attempt by our lost brother to communicate with our glorious mothership. Perhaps he is in pain. Perhaps he is no longer in tune with the sacred reverberations. This is merely the idle speculation of my mind. Respectfully, I must assert that his behavior was beyond my limited comprehension. As reported in prior communication, our lost brother harmed no one and was never observed. May Ascension serve the race Field Scout subclass. Okay. So, it was just one alien just like kind of wandering around? It just... crazy. Super Theta Project. Top Secret Omega-1 Clearance. General's Cabinet and Commander-in-Chief Eyes Only. Operation Ground Terror. This operation is concerned with the bioengineering of the Super Theta. The original enemy infecting ground troop was very lethal, but suffered from being able to execute proximity attacks only. Now with the Meson weapon integrated into the bone structure of the arm, the Super Theta has no weaknesses. I wish I could have like a little thing set up with hotkeys for certain clips, and one of them would be Sheer Heart Attack has no weakness. He can only be seriously damaged by alien Meson technology, which the target enemies, of course, do not possess. By turning the enemy's own troops against them, victory should be swift. The prototype is now incubating, and all indications are that the experiment is a complete success. After testing the prototype, now guarding the gray ship, full production and delivery shall commence. Ooh, scalar teleportation notes. Scrawled notes over a diagram. Scalar teleportation has proven far more stable than anticipated for transporting combat resources. Success rate 94%. Initial inconsistency with temporal loop regression in folded space can be negated by adjustment to individual scalar regulator. This unfortunately prohibits temperature regulation, exposing resources to extreme temperatures. Correcting this should reduce failure rate to 3%. Meson cannon documentation. MC-11 Meson Cannon Power Source AEE. Description: the Meson Cannon, reserved for Red Ops only, is now the highest powered weapon in the Dark Op arsenal. The Meson Cannon fires out a projected planar disc, which upon surface contact forms a 0.7 meter sphere of violet AEE energy. The sphere then emits what are best termed energy tentacles, which flail and seek out organic targets. Organic targets. Yet that's why I didn't work against the one thing very well. Fire rate 1 sphere, 5 seconds. Any energy study, again, the full range of properties of AE energy are still unknown. See Meson Auto Rifle, file AW1 and AT-24 AE energy. Alien Power Generators. Galactic Universal Time Unit. Honored Soldier subclass. Later's orders from the Exalted indicate our power generators require full attention from the Meta Protectorate. As we approach final installation of the 10 galactic subunits, the protective insulation on the power generators has been stripped away, exposing vulnerabilities in each core. Our labors near fruition and full vigilance at the stage ensures our ultimate success. We can afford no delay, bear the responsibility with honor, serve nobly. Honored Executor Grader class. They kind of have titles that they're almost like 40k-ish. I think this is the last one, right? Yeah. Core specifications. Galactic Universal Time Unit, Honored Workers subclass. The ascension of our holy mothership is dependent on the proper emplacement and function of our power core, using the carefully modulated collision of matter and antimatter in a suppressed gravity field, angravs or anti-gravitron, are created and channeled curving spacetime. The core uses a relatively rare isotope of francium-223, which has a half-life of 22 minutes. We have almost completed the creation of the 10 galactic subunits needed to refuel our glorious mothership. It is easy, but time-consuming to create francium-223 artificially by bombarding thorium with protons. During the refueling process, the highly unstable core has been moved away from our sacred mothership to prevent any catastrophic events from occurring. If any highly charged meson particles or other forms of non-modulated energy are introduced to the core during refueling, plasma flares will be released to rapidly lower the energy budget of a core going critical. If the plasma flares cannot dump enough energy rapidly, a large implosion will result, perhaps creating a short-lived microsingularity. Obviously, great care must be taken during refueling, especially during the unprotected plasma shunting vents located at the equator of the rotating power core. Remember these cautions well, and may they inspire your work. May Ascension serve the race, Honored Coordinator Grader class. So that's what we blew up. Stolen technology. The image was discovered on the carcass of one of the Elder Illuminati exhumed from the barbaric storage unit underground. Our lost brother aligned it correctly at the R42 locus in the bovine mammal structure meditation GXPZ8419. The monorail is a poor approximation of the maglev. Somehow, the Illuminati gained access to the following image and used their limited human technology to ape its elegant design. Silent, frictionless movement, and energy efficient. I am not certain whether we should be flattered or offended. May Ascension serve the race. Honored Research Drone subclass. Model of satellite ship. Placard. I read that as Picard at first. Placard under the model shows a series of indecipherable symbols. Below those symbols, the following text appears. Series KWXX7 survey ship. Apply fluid TG280 to activate. Do not activate an enclosed area. Contacts expand on activation. And Alien Turret Life Force. This is the last one I got. Most Honored Coordinator. Finally, the sentience and self-determination of the Honored Turret subclass have been finalized. Our new life form lacks non-telepathic communication devices, but they have unanimously indicated that they wish to serve and facilitate the Ascension. We humbly request a dedicated telepathic channel for these, our new citizens. May Ascension serve the race. Honored Engineer subclass. So they created a whole new class of being, and while they don't have any telepathic abilities natively, they could give them one. They could, like, give them a link. That's very interesting. Alright, so as far as the secret files go... so I have quite a few that I ended up missing later. I got a little bit more than half of these. Let's start watching some of these. Well, all these. I don't know how long I don't think they're very long. And actually, it'll probably take me all the way up until when I gotta go. So really, the timing ended up working out perfectly.
My name is Dr. Winston Cray. I have been here since the beginning. My life's work has been to untangle the mysteries buried within the DNA of man and the others. To fulfill a pact and in turn become the linchpin for a new world order. Circumstances have changed.
Go on.
For the uninitiated, I am Mr. White. My real name is unimportant. I am the facilitator of Dreamland. Yes, the maker of dreams. I like that. It's poetic.
He's got kind of a similar cadence to Wei Yun, actually.
I have sacrificed my very life to reveal these secrets. The experiments I have conducted over the years have taken their toll on my mortal coil. Science has at last failed me, as I am unable to heal my body. But my mind is still active, and it shall serve me to the end. I have done what I have done, so my work will not be in vain. It shall live through the ages, and I shall be remembered through it. But I take credit for only what I have achieved here, deep in the bowels of this institution. The work was vast.
I first met Dr. Winston Cray during the Second World War. His brilliance in early DNA research earned him a leading role in developing biochemical weapons. The success of the Manhattan Project was inconsequential compared to the success we achieved. But our projects were never approved for moral implications. So unbeknownst to Dr. Cray, I engaged in several experiments of my own in the Midwest. Oh, the horrors I inflicted led to so many wonderful discoveries. But then the alien craft crashed in Roswell, and things took an interesting twist. When I discovered the biochemical marvels hidden in the one called Edgar, I sent Dr. Cray to work immediately.
The moon landings nearly 4 decades ago were part of a misdirection by our government to confuse the public regarding alien encounters. We've certainly been to the moon, but the mysteries and horrors found there would never make for quaint historical quotation.
Ah, okay. So it wasn't even just that we faked the moon landing. Like we did go there, but we saw things that we were like, we can't show people this. So then we made the set and we just did it, you know, we did the one.
Working with the Greys, as they are called, has been invigorating. The staff is scared to death of them, owing in part to an incident where a linguistic coordinator accidentally bumped into one during an early negotiation. The man's face was quickly and neatly torn from his skull. I could swear I saw him register surprise in what was left of his eye sockets. And yes, it's true. Part of the pact gives them human subjects to experiment on, the results of which are quite often gruesome. But I still find them a fascinating and brilliant species.
I wonder if... So, I did see that, I think there's like a... It's either a spiritual successor or it is like an actual successor to this game. It was like Area 51 Black Site or something. Maybe I should look into that one of these days too. I wonder if that expounds on some stuff more. Like especially this guy. Well, not this one. This guy. So, it's kind of a shame that the guy who's doing his voice, really you only get to hear it in these little secret files that are like, what, a couple of seconds long for each one? Like, not even a minute? It sounds like he was really actually having a lot of fun. And so far, I'm enjoying his little video diaries the most. I kind of remember when I was way back in the day, I really enjoyed the Cray ones. But it might have just been because, you know, I was younger and I was like, oh, well, he was like the good one of the two. But I really like Mr. White's. Like, obviously he's a psychopath, but, you know, he's just like freely admitting all the secrets though. So
Spontaneous human combustion was an ill-conceived notion pursued by a sector of the scientific community here. Their early testing on pigs made the laboratories reek of burnt bacon. The human test subjects smelled even more repugnant. I was most grateful when that line of research was abandoned. But there is an interesting side note to that experiment. The urban legend of a man drugged by strangers, later waking up in a tub of ice missing his kidney or liver or whatnot. That arose from early test subject failures that were inadequately disposed of.
That's an interesting one.
It has always been the goal of our organization to do what's best for mankind. The pact with the Greys simply pushed up the timeline. Those put in power by us, presidents, prime ministers, religious figures, and nobility, sometimes get greedy. However, an assassin's bullet, or the delightfully degenerative effect of the many diseases in our control, usually takes care of that.
So fucked up. So it is kind of fun. Even after all this time, I'm still not actually 100% on whether spontaneous human combustion, like, so I think, if I remember correctly, it's technically a thing, but it's not like someone just bursting into flames. It's that someone under the correct conditions with the correct, like, amount of body fat can catch on fire, and then, like, depending on, like, if they have the correct amount of, like, body fat, and then probably, like, maybe what they're wearing and whatnot, and, like, the environment they're in, they can very quickly sort of, like, cremate under their own material, basically. It's kind of what I remember the last time anyone was ever, like, looking into it as, like, a thing. I don't know how true that is, but
The claims that the Bible holds a secret mathematical code that prophesied world events. That was initiated by a group of scientists who got inebriated one evening and thought it would make a good practical joke. Crop circles were another one of that crew's pranks. The after-hours entertainment here is extremely limited, and this sort of puerile behavior regrettably occurs from time to time.
oh. Okay, so it was both. So sometimes people were just fucking around and they were like, this would be funny. Let's just go make a crop circle. But one of them, maybe it was just the one, was an actual Grey who was, like, lost and trying to maybe communicate with the mothership. And so he was doing a crop circle, and then the Grey observing him was like, I don't know what he's doing, man.
Some have called our plans a Luciferian conspiracy. But they will not say such things after the coming of the new guard. They will hold their tongues. Not because they have had a change of heart, but because... well, because they will already have rotted out from the inside. The chips we've implanted in the majority of the population under the guise of vaccinations allow us to watch the Watchers. Now, how could anyone say the pact was a bad thing?
And we only have these two, and then I missed the rest of them. Sad.
Remote viewing was a promising avenue of research that failed to live up to its initial potential. Harnessing psychic abilities to spy on one's enemies has a provocative lure, but test subjects were wildly erratic with their results. Those who showed more consistent abilities were, in my opinion, inadequately trained, and the program was eventually discontinued.
Yeah, the remote viewing thing, I've watched a couple of different videos about that. It's very interesting, but I don't know if it's one of those things that you can ever truly prove is 100% real or not. And not just like pretty good educated guesses. I think people have cited a couple of different things that they were like, even for a guess, that one's a little too close unless it was staged. I forget which ones they were. It might have been one of them specifically about Mars, and then another one was about like the location of a place in boy, what was it? I think it was Alaska that they did actually find, and they were like, wow, when we went there, that is where it was. Like, and you can't find that like by looking at the satellite or anything. So it's not like he could have figured it out on his own and then just pretended like he figured it out through remote viewing. Yeah, remote viewing's an interesting topic.
The technology we've been able to create as a result of the Pact helps everyone. Our embedded chips in cell phones allow us to easily record conversations around the globe. Nanofibers woven into currency let us monitor the world's money wherever it goes. And we've placed monitoring devices the size of pinheads in most generic light fixtures. This enables us to gather surveillance in the homes of the average American. And let me tell you, the things they do in the privacy of their own homes is far more disturbing than anything found here at Dreamland.
I'm sure. I mean, probably, but terrible. So I am these are just cinematics. Is this just what I think it is? Yeah, okay. So these are just yeah. What's this one? Ah, that's just the okay. Ramirez?
When I was first assigned to Hazmat Team Bravo, I thought Ramirez was the kind of by-the-book military who resented babysitting a team of lab rats. But mission after mission, Ramirez proved he deserved our respect. Not because of the bars on his shoulder, but because he respected us and the work we did. He was our captain, and we would have followed him anywhere.
I'm trying to remember, did those... I don't know if these actually... Did this happen in the game? Or are these extras in here just to hear later?
Once, after cleaning up a hot zone in Bisbee, Arizona, Crispy and I had to spend 10 days in quarantine. By day 3, I wanted to punch him in the face. By day 7, I did. In the dust-up, I slammed my head against the table, a concussion and 17 stitches. Since we were in quarantine, Crispy had to patch me up. It took me another week to recover, and Crispy stayed with me the entire time and didn't say a word.
Yeah, I definitely don't remember that. So, okay, this is cool. So what do you have to say about McCann?
McCann and I went to a strip club, and he actually brought a book. I gave a stripper $50 to take it from him and put it somewhere, interesting. She did. McCann didn't even blink. He just asked her not to lose his place. Later, I asked him if he got the book back. He grinned and shrugged, and he said that Chapter 4 would never be the same.
That's funny. All right, well, yeah, that's it for Area 51, and as many secrets as I could get, without, you know, obsessing over them. Definitely a fun game. Definitely something that is worth the time, especially because it's abandonware now. So it's, despite a little, it's the jankiness of having to get it working and whatnot. I suppose now that I think about it, yeah, you kind of do need to. Yeah, so I guess it might depend on the system too that you're running, but yeah, having to get the frame rate capper and uncapper that you can just do right on a hotkey, that's a little frustrating. But I mean, the programs for it, you know, they're freeware too, you know, just open source stuff. Nothing crazy, and they don't take up a whole lot of resources. It's a fun time. It's definitely a fun time. And there's more stuff, more secrets and stuff to get. I definitely recommend it. So yeah, tomorrow I'll think on it. Tomorrow I'll think on what I want to do. Either I'm gonna do crab meat and I'm gonna see if I can get through that in one stream, or I'm just I'll boot up Kingdom Hearts, you know, and I'll just play that from I'm trying to think, if I did that, would I want to do the Final Mix one that's on Steam, or would I want to do the original PlayStation 2 version? That's a good question. I think if I did do it, I'd probably want to do the original PlayStation. Final Mix is okay. There's nothing wrong with it, but if I can, I kind of like to play stuff in their original forms as much as possible. I might look up and see and refresh myself what the differences are, because I remember them. There was like some quality of life stuff in there, but if there was anything that was like changed rather than just some stuff added, I'll probably go with the original. But it depends. Between, you know, however long I'm gonna wait tonight before I conk out, and the morning and going through work tomorrow, I'll think on it and I'll decide what I want to do, because I really don't remember how long crab meat is. Possibly I could get through that in one stream and then start Kingdom Hearts on Saturday, but I don't know. It's like after the news, I just kind of... There's a part of me that feels like I just kind of want to revisit that, you know? So, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow night, and thanks for hanging out. Have a good one. Bye-bye.